You know how we're always seeing these headlines about the next big thing, right? A new console, a stock market that's just taking off, a crypto explosion, and they're all presented like these massive, golden opportunities. But today, we're going to ask a different question. Are they really wide open doors, or are they more like puzzles with a hidden key? Let's find out.
So first up, let's talk about the gaming world. The Nintendo Switch 2 is just around the corner, and after a huge Indie World showcase, everyone's calling it a brand new gold rush for independent developers. But the question is that gold rush really open to everyone?
Next, we're jumping over to the world of finance. South Korea's stock market, the Kospi, just went on this absolutely historic tear, blowing past the 6,000-point barrier. But the reason why it's booming is probably not what you think.
And for our last story, Bitcoin. It is at a serious turning point. You've got experts predicting everything from a total catastrophe to an unbelievable surge. We're talking about a whole new era for digital money.
Okay, so you've got a new console, a booming market, and a digital currency at a crossroads. On the surface, they all look like can't-miss opportunities. But are they really open doors? Or are they locked rooms with a key that's really hard to find? Let's dig past the headlines and get to the real story.
All right, let's dive into our first topic. The Nintendo Switch 2. Is it really the indie developer paradise that it looks like on the surface?
So the excitement really kicked off with Nintendo's Indie World Showcase. I mean, it was this rapid-fire presentation, just packed with incredible new games. And the message seemed crystal clear. The Switch 2 is open for business, especially for the small, creative studios.
But here's the catch. While all that hype was building, developers on the ground were reporting something else. They were saying the all-important dev kits, the hardware you need to actually make the games, are largely unavailable. In fact, if you go to Nintendo's official developer portal right now, it's not even accepting new applications. This quote from one dev team, I think, just says it all. What's their strategy for getting onto the new Switch? To wait and hope Nintendo tap them on the shoulder. And that really reveals the truth, doesn't it? This isn't an open system. It's more like an invitation-only club where Nintendo is handpicking who gets in.
So why is Nintendo being so picky all of a sudden? Well, it's all about avoiding this one word, shovelware. The online store for the original Switch, it got absolutely flooded with low-quality, kind of spammy games, and it made it really hard for the truly great titles to get noticed. With the Switch 2, it looks like Nintendo is putting up a big quality control gate right from the start.
Okay, let's shift gears and look at our next story. This one is a really fascinating puzzle from the world of finance, Korea's seemingly unstoppable stock market.
So check out this paradox. The KSPI index surged from 5,000 to 6,000 points in just 18 days. And it was fueled by these incredible corporate earnings. But, and this is a huge but, at the exact same time, foreign investors were pulling over 10 trillion won out of the market. I mean, that just doesn't add up. So what was really pushing the market up?
The answer isn't about the profits being made today. It's all about a potential future event, the chance for South Korea to get included in the MSCI Developed Markets Index. Think of it like a massive upgrade, moving from the minor leagues to the majors. It would completely change how global finance sees the entire country.
And why does that matter so much? Because of this one number, 75 trillion won. That's the estimate of how much stable, long-term foreign money, we're talking global pension funds, the really big players, could pour into the Korean market if that upgrade actually happens. This isn't just speculative money, it's a game-changing structural shift. But here's the crucial part. This is not a sure thing, and it's definitely not happening tomorrow. It's a whole multi-year journey. Investors are basically placing a big bet that Korea is going to hit these key milestones, starting with getting on the official watch list in June of 2026, with the final decision not coming until a full year after that.
All right, and for our final topic, let's talk Bitcoin. The headlines are all screaming about wild price predictions, but the real story, the one that actually matters, is happening far, far away from any trading chart.
Right now, if you listen to the chatter, it's all about two extremes. You've got the bears who say a 30% crash is coming, just based on historical patterns, and then you have the bulls, saying that big institutional money is about to flood in and send the price rocketing up to $150,000, maybe even more.
But you know what? Focusing only on the price completely misses the single most important thing that could decide Bitcoin's future. The real make or break moment is actually a piece of legislation that's slowly making its way through Washington, D.C.
It's called the Clarity Act, and its goal is pretty simple. Create a clear, official rulebook for digital assets here in the United States. And that regulatory certainty, it's the absolute key to unlocking investment from big institutions, the ones with strict compliance rules. The bill made it through the House, but now it's stuck in the Senate. In this vote in the House, it really shows you the problem. I mean, yeah, it passed with a strong majority, but look at how many voted against it. That partisan divide is exactly what makes its journey through the Senate so incredibly difficult, where it's much easier for a small group to block something.
So what on earth does a video game console, a booming stock market, and a digital currency all have in common? Let's tie this all together.
Well, here's the common thread. None of these are simple, wide-open opportunities. They are all conditional. For indie game developers, that door only opens if you get a personal invitation and a dev kit from a very selective Nintendo. For the Kospi, the real money only shows up if it gets on that MSCI watch list. And for Bitcoin, its entire institutional future depends on one law passing a divided Senate. They all need a very specific key to turn a very specific lock.
So the real takeaway here is this. These headlines aren't describing gold rushes that anyone can just jump into. They're actually complex puzzles. Each one has its own rules, its own risks, and its own timeline. The real opportunity isn't just about showing up. It's about understanding the deep structure of the game you're trying to play. So the real question is, which one of these puzzles are you actually equipped to solve?